个项目呢很特别，叫做 Origin Protocol， 而且呢，他们是最早呢创新的一个产品叫 OETH， 那他们现在呢又有一个新的产品叫 OETH， 就等于说是在 LSD 上面加一层的 LSD5。好，那我们热烈的掌声欢迎 Josh， Co-founder of Origin Protocol。
Ni hao, ni hao. Thank you, Chris, for the introduction and for putting on such a great event. I hear we're running about 2 hours ahead of schedule, so buckle up. I'm going to take 2.5 hours here just to get us back on schedule. I have a lot of tokens to show to you guys today. So what I'm going to talk about today is this problem that I have. Very serious problem. And I expect that most people in this room probably have the same problem as I do. And that is we're about to enter a bull market and I don't have enough ETH. If I had to guess, none of you feel like you have enough ETH either. None of us have enough ETH. And so what we're going to talk about is what we're building at Origin and how you can earn more ETH using the ETH that you already have. Specifically, I want to let you in on some of our early thinking around how we can bring yield to not only individuals and corporate treasuries and DAOs, the people who have been using our products so far, but how we can actually expand this out to other protocols. As a lot of protocols are starting to think about how they can take the idle ETH that they're holding and put it to better use. As people are wanting to take advantage of the risk-free rate that is available from the staking on Ethereum. So if you're not familiar with Origin, again, I'm Josh Fraser, I'm one of the founders of Origin. We've been around since 2017, so we've been around for quite a while. And you may know us for some of the work we've done on the NFT side of the business. We did Blau Sale, we did $11.7 million. We did NFT drop from Paris Hilton and SpaceX. But more recently, we've been focused on DeFi. Our products you've probably heard of, Origin Dollar and Origin Ether. These are both yield-bearing tokens, and what we think of as the easiest way to earn in DeFi. You can take your stablecoins, swap them into Origin Dollar, watch your balance increase, and same for Ethereum. You can take your Ethereum, deploy it into staking and on Ethereum and help you earn extra yield by deploying it across DeFi. So our goal is to be the easiest way to earn in DeFi. You're probably all familiar with the traditional yield farming process. You go, you take some assets, you stake them in a farm, you come back a few days later, you click the harvest button. You take those reward tokens you got, you take them wherever, you swap them for more ETH for stables. You redeploy them back into that farm again because we all want compound interest, right? And then after you're doing this for a few weeks, you go and you check all the math in the spreadsheet, and you find out you actually lost money because you spent so much money on gas. Anyone else been there and gone through that? Yeah. So we take all of that complexity and we take care of all the work for you. So you don't have to do any harvesting, you don't have to do any work to manage your position. Just buy your token and hold. It's the easiest way to earn in DeFi, and it's designed for people like me, people who are really lazy and want all the yield but don't want to do all the work. So there's no staking, there's no lockups, it's constantly compounding right there in your wallet. So it really is the easiest way to earn. Looking around DeFi today, I see billions and billions of dollars of idle capital. How much ETH is sitting on Uniswap or Curve right now, just there as a co-currency with other governance tokens. Billions and billions of dollars of ETH that's not earning the risk-free rate that's available from staking. Look at TYDX and other perps exchanges. So we see the same thing. We have huge piles of collateral sitting there. It's important it's there, it's necessary, but it's not earning any yield. We've got a blurred bidding pool. One, at different points in time has been worth more or less, but let's call it $100 million sitting there idle that isn't earning any yield that could be put to work. And then we have bridges and layer 2s, billions of dollars sitting there as well. All this capital is being bridged over, It's just sitting idle. It's not earning anything at all. And so we've actually had some conversations with a lot of people in this space, and what I've heard over and over again is it's too risky. Rehypothecation is too risky until Blast. You guys see this? You know, how many of you deployed money into Blast? Anyone else? Yeah, okay, bunch of degens, all right. So there's a new layer 2 from Blur, from the guys at Blur, backed by Paradigm, TM. And they're promising yield from staked ETH as their native token on Blast. And these guys have already locked up over $750 million in their new L2 that doesn't exist yet. And suddenly, everyone is talking about rehypothecation. How do we turn on yield on our layer 2 as well? How do we turn on yield on our protocol? We've got a big pile of ETH sitting here. How do we go and get that yield too? And so at Origin, we were like, well, we have a couple of great products that have been focused more on individuals, but what would it take for Origin Ether and Origin Dollar to be used as tools, as money Legos for other protocols to earn yield? And so I wanted to let you in on some of our early thinking on this, and something I'd love to connect with other people in this audience, people who are thinking about this problem as well. So this is very early in our thinking, and I'd love to get your ideas and feedback on what we're talking about today. But if I were a protocol looking to earn yield, here's what I would care about. First of all, I want superior yields. There's no point coming in and taking on this additional smart contract risk if yields aren't there, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about the current state of the market staking yields. Of course, you can't compromise on safety. You can't gamble your user's principal. So if your protocol, you're integrating it has to be safe. You have to have diversity, and you have to have predictability. You can't have any governance drugs or anything like that. If you're rehypothecating your capital, you better have it on chain so your users know where you're deploying their money, right? You want it to be fully auditable and everyone to feel comfortable with the level of risk that you're taking. Next, you want it to be a stable coin. You want it to be something that's easy to integrate. It's something that, and when I say stable coin, it could be stable to fiat, or like Tether or USDC, or stable to ETH, like a staking derivative. But you want really clean accounting, something that's easy to integrate, and a token is a great way to do this, right? You can imagine if you're an AMM, you're not going to pair your governance token with an LP token from a Yearn vault, right? It doesn't make any sense. But something like OETH, where 1 ETH equals 1 OETH, you can pair your governance token with that on an AMM, and it's very easy for everyone to understand exactly what's going on. The accounting is really simple. And finally, this is the crux of it, and this is the hardest one of all, is how do you make it lossless? How do you make sure that when you're taking your users' funds and you're deploying it in earning strategies, that you're not going to lose money after the fact, right? So you don't want any exit fees, and you certainly don't want any market risk. You want to minimize that as much as humanly possible. So let's go through these one at a time. So first, on the yield front, we've been seeing that staking yields have been decreasing. So this is staked ETH. At one point as high as 10% APY. Today we're down to 3.8%. It's only going to compress even more as staking levels increase. So we start, one thing I've learned from being in crypto since 2017 is there's one thing we want, and that's more yields. We want to stack yield on top of yield every chance we can get. So 3.8% is nice. It's a nice starting point. How about that? We'd like more, right? And so this is what OETH gives users and other protocols. We can get the yield from the native staking tokens, right? So we're taking ETH and liquid staking tokens, and then we're deploying those into yield earning strategies across DeFi. So we can deploy those in Curve and Balancer to earn trading fees, and then we can deploy those on lending platforms like Compound and Aave and Morpho, and so you can get interest for people who are borrowing. We can also earn Morpho tokens that we're not trading yet, but will presumably have some value in the future. And then we have all of our rewards that are given by these various platforms, but again, are automatically harvested for you and reinvested into the protocol. So you're stacking yield on top of yield on top of yield. And then we have some other advantages as well that we can put to work. One is we have economies of scale. So it costs just as much to harvest $1 worth of rewards as it costs to harvest $1 million worth of rewards, right? And so the more capital you have, the more you can justify harvesting frequently, recompounding that on a much faster basis than you can do it on your own, right? So there's benefits to being in a big pool of capital. Second, we have the protocol is investing in flywheel tokens. So 10% of the yield that's generated by OETH goes back to buying more CBX, and that lets us drive rewards to our pool on curve. Right? So this is an investment in future and future rewards. Right? We're constantly investing in making sure that there's going to be more rewards for us in the future. And then we're able to use that. We're able to boost APY in two key ways. So one, because we're driving all of these rewards to our pool on curve, the protocol itself can actually LP, and it's actually the largest LP in that pool. So it gives you protocol guaranteed liquidity, which is great if you're a user and you know you can swap out of it. But also means that our AMO is able to earn a larger share of those rewards. That ends up in your pocket in the form of higher yield for you as a user. We also have non-rebasing OETH. So by default, OETH does not rebase when it's held on a smart contract. And this is for a simple reason that it breaks most AMMs for rebasing nature. And so you have to opt into that. And so if you're a multi-sig or another protocol that wants that yield, you can opt in. But anyone who doesn't opt in, all of your underlying collateral is still being put to work, and that's extra yield for you and those who've actually opted to receive that yield. So you put this together, we were earning over 5.5% in the last 30 days. We're just under $100 million of capital in OETH today. Now, none of this matters if it's not safe, right? Safety, security is number one, something we prioritize over everything. So, good news is we've been battle tested over $300 million in TVL at our peak. We've been audited over a dozen times by Trail of Bits, Open Zeppelin, and other top auditing firms in the space. We have a $1 million bug bounty program, 48-hour time lock, so even if something malicious gets through our governance somehow, you still have time to get your funds out before anything bad can happen. But most importantly, if you're a protocol, you're thinking about earning yield with us, you know, we're on the risk spectrum. We're definitely on the safer end of the spectrum, right? No degen plays. We're integrating protocols that are blue chips that have been battle tested with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in assets. And so that can give you a lot of safety that this is highest risk-adjusted yield you can get without really putting your users' funds at risk. We are getting diversification across different staking providers. Thankfully, we haven't seen a major slashing event with Lido or any of our staking providers, but we probably will at some point. I think we sometimes forget about this. We take for granted the fact that we haven't seen a major slashing event. But if and when that happens, you're going to want to be diversified across multiple providers to minimize the impact of that. OETH is super easy to integrate. It's just a token. So if you know how to buy a token, swap a token, that's all you need to be able to earn yield. Simple accounting, 1 OETH equals 1 ETH. Right? So it's not like Rocket Pool where you have to know what the conversion rate is to convert to it. It's not like a Urn vault where you have 0.01257% of a vault, right? This, look at your wallet, you know exactly how much you own. Everything's fully on chain and transparent. And then as a smart contract, you have two ways to opt into that yield. You can either call the opt-in function, which gives you access to the rebasing to earn the yield that way. We also have a wrapped version that you can use as well. So that lets you turn off for rebasing, and instead of getting more units of OETH in your wallet, you'll have the same number of units, but those units will be worth more. So it's an alternate way of earning that yield. Now the hardest part of all of this is how do we make it lossless? So think about the situation where you are trying to rehypothecate capital. You have a user come along, they deposit, say, $1 million into your protocol. 5 minutes later, we say, give me my money back. Well, if you have an exit fee, or if the asset forces you to swap out on curve and it's trading in a below peg, that you're going to have to eat that loss right off the bat. So this is kind of a non-starter. It's the hardest thing to solve for this whole problem. And the reason is that LSTs are really easy to mint, but get a little bit harder to redeem. And just being 100% back, just because there's 100% of the ETH there, isn't really enough. And Grayscale is probably the best example of this that I can think of. Right? They've traded all the funds are in. No one questions whether they have the Bitcoin. They have the Bitcoin, but yet they are trading at almost a 50% discount in their asset value. Now, lately, with talks about them turning on redemptions for Grayscale, it's been coming back up. They're only trading about 10% discount right now. But this highlights one thing. It all comes down to redemptions. Redemptions is really the key here, because that is, without that, you're not going to be able to have a stable peg. And so what we also see is if your coin is depegged, you can think of that as a hidden exit fee, right? So we see this with some liquid staking derivatives today, where they're trading permanently below peg, right? So take something like Frax ETH, has a great yield, but you're pretty much permanently trading 25 bips below peg, right? And we talk about why that is. What that means is that's essentially your exit fee to get out of Frax ETH if you want. What's up with my clicker? Oh, here we go. All right, so where are redemptions at today? Because this is kind of the crux of it. So today when you redeem OETH, we kind of punt on the problem. We give you the basket of ETH and the LSTs that we're holding, give you a pro rata share, and that's it. And then it's up to you to figure out how to redeem those. We also charge a 50 bips exit fee, and this goes back to the remaining holders of OETH. And this isn't because we're being greedy, this is because Chainlink's oracles don't update that frequently. And so we have to protect the assets in the vault, just in case the price has deviated and the Chainlink oracles haven't updated yet on chain to let us know about that. We don't want your money getting robbed. But alternatively, what people do instead is instead of redeeming with the vault, of course they go to Curve and they can swap out there. You can almost always get better pricing on Curve than you can redeeming with the vault. But you're always subject to the whims of the market and the bonding curve, right? The price is constantly getting pushed around because every time someone buys, it pushes the price up. Every time someone sells, it pushes the price down. And so you're always kind of in the whims of the bonding curve and exactly what kind of price you're going to get there. There are also trade-offs to be made between profit and peg stability. This is particularly true if you're running an AMO. If you're running an AMO, it's to your advantage to have as many tokens pushed into the pool as possible because you can earn extra rewards for your pool and for your holders. So this is largely what the Frax team have opted for, and that's why they're constantly trading a little bit below peg, because they're optimizing for profit over peg stability. So that's an important trade-off for you guys to understand. But how can we make this better, particularly as we're trying to turn on rehypothecation? So what does it look like in an ideal scenario? What would we like this to look like? Well, ideally, you would be able to swap out of ETH on a one-to-one basis, kind of just like you can swap in and out of WETH, right? Like you send ETH to the WETH contract to get the equal amount of WETH back, send WETH, you get ETH. That would be ideal. Now, that is a little bit of a pipe dream given the complexity of how much is going on behind the scenes here, but I think we can get pretty close. Again, like I said before, it all comes down to redemptions, right? That is the key to being able to keep it on peg, because that allows arbitrageurs to fix any price discrepancies you have. So what's the current state of redemptions from LSTs to date? So With staked ETH from Lido, it takes 1 to 4 days. Now it's dependent entirely on the exit queue on Ethereum. Right? So this is, if you're watching this video months from now, this could be completely different. Right now, it's about 1 to 4 days on Lido, 15 days to get out of Frax. And then for Rocket Pool, it's a little bit complicated. Usually, you can get out instantly because they have a large buffer of funds for people who want to redeem, but it's not guaranteed. So it's either instant or you're just out of luck. Right? It's kind of the state of it on Rocket Pool. But what we're thinking about at Origin is, what if we just honor a one-to-one redemption? We built a flipper contract, and so we just put in. We built this for Origin Dollar. We put in a bunch of stablecoins, put some Origin Dollar, and we said there's no fee to use this. It's just a one-to-one swap. It's as gas optimized as we possibly know how to make a contract. And so you can send us stablecoins. We'll send you OUSD, and we want to do the same thing for OETH as well. And then with the addition of redemptions, anytime this pool gets out of balance, we have a method to rebalance the pool, because we can queue up redemptions, or we can mint some more tokens to fill that pool. And so this gives you that beautiful WEF-like experience you want, and you can get in and out, super gas efficient, and you don't have to worry about what the market is doing. You don't have to worry about the current state of the bonding curve. And if you deposited $1 million worth of ETH into OETH, and one of your users asks for their ETH back, you'll be able to honor that request without taking on any loss whatsoever. So what about OUSD? We've been talking a lot about OETH. Obviously, stablecoins are really important too. So OUSD works the same way. It just takes Tether, USDC, and DAI instead of liquid staking tokens as collateral. We're able to charge a lower exit fee here. It's because Chainlink gives us tighter rules for stablecoins than we do for LSTs. Obviously, there's no way to redeem for fiat, so we have to give you stables back, and then you can go take it up with Circle or Tether if you want to go to fiat. But we can do the same thing as far as having a flipper pool. We can put up a big pile of stablecoins with OUSD liquidity, no fees, gas optimize it, and we can add incentives to make sure that there's plenty of depth there for anyone who wants to integrate, who wants to know that they're going to have plenty of liquidity there if they want to get back out. Performance on OUSD is performing there, 5.5% yield on OUSD. So great returns, whether you want to earn on ETH or stablecoins. We have a great product for you either way. I'd be amiss if I didn't talk about OGV. This is a governance token for both of our yield earning products. We have full 100% on-chain governance. We're really proud of the way we've been able to decentralize control, right, where everything is actually controlled by OGV stakers. We actually built our own version of a VE token model. And if any of you are looking for new governance mechanisms, right, and are big fans of the VE token model like we are, I encourage you to check out the work we did on that. Come find me afterwards. I can send you some materials on that. We basically built a model that lets you do the VE token model with an exponential curve instead of a linear decay as far as the loading power goes. And that has some massive benefits as far as functionality and gas complexity. So with 145 lines of code, we're able to add more functionality than what you get with Curve's VE token model. And it gives you things like up to 50% gas savings. It lets you do things like delegation, which is near impossible to implement with Curve's VE token model. So come find me if you want to learn more about that. We'd love to have more projects. Start adopting that model as a VE token model. Is really a great model for transferring value to those who are invested in the long-term success of your protocol. We're lucky to have a lot of people who are invested in long-term success of our protocol. We have over 80% of OGV is currently staked, and we're really proud of that. And OETH success, Origin Dollar success, really drives the success of OGV, because we have 10% of the yield that we earn from our products goes to buying flywheel tokens, and then the other 10% goes to buying back OGV. So as OUSD and OETH become more successful, we expect OGV will do better as well. So we set out to be the easiest way to earn in DeFi. I think we've accomplished that. We've accomplished that for individuals. We've accomplished it for a lot of funds, both crypto funds and traditional funds are earning with using OE from the origin dollar. We're seeing DAOs and corporate treasuries. People are using these products as a simple way to earn for their DAOs and treasuries as well. And hopefully soon we can add protocols into the mix. So if you're thinking about turning on rehypothecation in your protocol, if you're looking for ways to earn and would like to partner with us in exploring what this could look like, come find me. I'd love to chat more. So that's it. I'm Josh Fraser, Twitter, Telegram, whatever you want. Thanks so much for your time.